last time we played D&D, you helped a bunch of unicorns in the Feywild, right? And in the Feywild, they were being poisoned, and you found out there was a nightmare that was nearby, and you went in...
Why is he called a nightmare?
Because that's what he is. He's a scary horse called a nightmare.
I like him.
We'll look at him after. So you helped convince him to stop doing those things, and you helped the unicorns to accept him, and he went to live with the unicorns, right?
Yeah.
And then you made it out of the Feywild, and you came home, and you went to bed.
I really want to go to his dangerous spooky home.
I don't think you do, trust me. But we've got something really cool for today. The next morning, when you wake up, you get out of bed, and what do you do when you get out of
I
bed?
want to find somebody that needs help.
You want to find, so is that the first thing you do, or do you like get up and eat breakfast and stuff like that?
Plant a garden first. I don't have a garden.
You're gonna plant a garden before you even eat? Okay, all right, so does Sparkle want to help? Yeah, all right. So what you do is you go outside to start planting your garden, but I would like both of you to make a perception roll for me. So grab your D20, yeah? It's right there, yeah? Roll your D20. What did you get? Uh-oh. All right, Sparkle, your perception.
That's mine.
So you got a 5. And then what did you get? An 11 plus your perception, which is a -1, which is a 10.
Sparkle.
Oh yeah, sorry. I called you Sparkle. You're Sparkle. You're Oval. What happens is you are so busy planting that you just have no idea. You don't even notice this. But what happens is Sparkle suddenly stops. Oh, look around you. And you look around and you notice that even though the sun is shining, you have no shadows.
What?
Yeah, your shadows are missing.
I know. There's a shadow thief.
You think there's a shadow thief, huh?
Yeah.
You-
And Peter Pan probably stole shadows alive. And probably steal our shadows.
Yeah, everything else has shadows, but your shadows are missing. They're gone.
Peter Pan's shadow always runs away from Peter Pan.
Yeah, I know. We could. I know. So, what do you do?
Look for our shadow.
Okay.
Let's go to the old wizard first. I like waking him up.
You want to go talk to the wizard, huh? All right. So you go to the town square, and you find the wizard. He's not asleep today, though. He's
Okay.
actually standing near the pond, and he's feeding bread to the ducks.
Okay.
And so you go up to him. What do you say?
Our shadows are missing.
Your shadows are missing? What do you mean? Oh my! You do have no shadows.
Everyone else has shadows and that's us.
That is so strange. That is so
And,
weird.
and we really think there's a shadow thief.
You think that's a shadow thief? Oh boy. Oh boy.
It could have stolen our shadows.
I would believe so, he says as he looks. Oh, goodness. And he stands next to you, and his shadow's there, and he stands next to you, and he's like, you really do have no shadows. This is such a strange thing. And he thinks. And he thinks for a moment. And he goes, I don't really know anything about this, but I know somebody who might.
I really think there is somebody that is chosen to steal our shadows.
Well, I don't know anything about stealing shadows, but I do know somebody who might know. But I have to warn you, if you go talk to her, she's not always the nicest person.
What?
Yes, her name is Cacklefingers. She's an old lady, and she lives out in the woods in an old rundown cottage. But if you go and talk to her,
She might trap us.
I don't know. Well, I hope not. That would be awful. But she might know a thing or two about losing shadows, I can tell you that.
Or she could be the one who has taken our shadows.
Maybe. But be warned, you have to be careful. Be careful around her.
Okay,
Yeah?
I'll be very gentle and very careful.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
All right. So what do you two do then?
Go to the woods.
You're going to go into the woods?
To
All
find
right.
her.
So
Zoom!
when you go into the woods, you walk in and you see the path, and there's two paths. There's one that is really well worn, like you can tell a lot of people have walked on it, and then there's one that kind of goes off into the trees and it gets all misty and dark, and it looks like not a lot of people travel there.
I
Which
know.
path do you take?
The one that has.
The one that has fog?
Yes, it's not a very nice person. I'm gonna go with all. See?
Yeah? Okay, so you go with Oh, and you start going down the path. And the path is really crooked, right? It keeps going back and forth in different ways, and the trees get thicker and thicker and darker, and as you're going, the air seems to get colder, and then soon you see a little orange light off in the distance. And as you go, it's not back there, girls. Think it in your head. You see a little orange light off in the distance, and that light is coming from a small, rundown looking cottage.
Ooh, the old witches did say she lives in a cottage.
That's true. So what do you do?
Go in the cottage.
You go to the cottage? Do you just walk into it?
No, we knock first.
You knock? Okay. So you give it a little knock. You rap, tap, 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 tap. You hear something bash, and this voice goes, "Oh goodness, I was just about to finish that." And then they come and this person busts open the door, and since you're both short, you see this green-skinned, old-looking, gnarly woman, and she looking around. Who's there? Who's that? Who's knocking on my door?
Down here.
Then she looks down. Oh, a little goblin and a little fairy. Come in. What brings you to my cottage?
Can you help me? Can you help us? Our shadows are missing. Yeah, and everything else has a shadow and that's us.
Lost shadows? Lost shadows? Oh, that's amazing. I haven't seen this in a long time. Do come in. Would you like a treat?
Sure. Oh. And I was.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you want a treat and you go, oh. So what are you thinking?
I want to buy a cupcake for her. I want to buy a cupcake for her. No thanks.
So Oh says that she doesn't want a treat. And to which the old hag is like, okay, I don't sell cupcakes, but I have things that you can eat. Here. And she goes and she starts pulling something out of a pot. She's like, I have bat wings, eye of newt. How about rat tail? Do you like rat tail?
Yuck.
Oh, you don't want my food?
Well, why do you eat gross stuff?
It's yummy.
You're funny. Oh, and I have some nice sticky cats in a little, but they're not nice. You can have their tails if you want.
Oh, I'll have to go find them later. Well, you say you're looking for your shadows.
Yeah.
By the way, that was probably smart to say no to her food, huh? Yeah, we don't take food from strangers like that, do we?
No.
So, she starts going through and she finds an old book and she pulls it off the shelf. And all these cobwebs and like there's little spiders that run across it, and she opens the book up and she's like, let's see. Lost shadows. I believe that your shadows must have been taken into the Shadowfell. Do you know what the Shadowfell is? Oh, have a seat. And she sits you down at her table and she says, the Shadowfell is an alternate world where all of the spooky things are. It's a dangerous place, and it's where all of the dark things that you might think live. I once lived in the Shadowfell until I came here. Now, if you want your shadows back, you'll have to travel to the Shadowfell and talk to the Wraith. I bet you he's the one who has your shadows.
Let's go talk to the Wraith. Can
The
I
Wraith?
see what the Wraith
Oh, well,
looks like?
I'll show you. I'll show you first. This is what the the lady you're speaking to looks like.
Yeah.
She's spooky, huh?
See all this yucky stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's sit
Yeah.
down. So, boop. So she says the Shadowfell, however, is very dangerous for you because the realm of the Wraith. If you spend too long there, you will become ghosts yourself.
What?
Yes, yes. But I would happily give you something to help you out since you came and visited me. I'm so lonely. I get so few visitors. Let me grab you something. And she goes over into a cupboard and she starts pulling things out. And there's like a bottle full of eyes and she throws it. And then there's like something with bat wings and she throws it. She clears out a bunch of cobwebs and then she pulls out a bright orange candle. And she says, this is a soul candle. Who would like to hold it?
Me.
Okay, you little fairy, hold it, but keep it safe. When you're in the Shadowfell, in the realm of the Wraith, if you don't keep that candle lit, you might stay there as a ghost forever.
Okay. Thanks
So,
for helping us.
Yes, when you get to the Shadowfell, light the candle and don't let it go out.
But we don't have a thing to light it.
Oh, that's simple, simple, simple. She goes out and she grabs a few matches and gives them to you. Now, to get to the Shadowfell, you have to cross Old Jack's Field. It's a field just west of the forest here. And if you go through the field, you'll have to meet Old Jack. He's a scarecrow, a pumpkin-headed scarecrow. He will guide you through the field if you pay him something.
Pay him a ruby. Can you get us some rubies? I don't have a ruby.
I don't have a ruby to give you. You'll have to come up with something yourself to give him.
We
But
don't have money. Oh, right. We have
you,
to
you do have a little bit of
Let's
money.
give him money.
Oh, he might take the money. But you must listen to everything Jack tells you to get across that field.
Okay.
Yes, and once across the field, continue on through the mists until you reach the realm of darkness.
Can I see what this?
Oh, no. I have no desire to go to the Shadowfell. I have some rats to find.
Dad,
Okay.
Dad, can I see what the scarecrow looks like?
I will look that up when we get to it, okay? All right. So, she gives you the candle, and she lets you out of the house and says, "Do visit any time, little ones." And
Good thing she's not trapping us this time.
yeah, that is a good thing. So,
I just know it because she's been actually really nice today.
so where do you go? What do you do?
We want to go find a shadow.
You want to go find your shadows, okay? So where did she tell you have to go?
Total field.
To a field in the west, right? So you head west and you walk through the forest. And as you get through the forest, it starts to clear up and starts to get nicer. And then suddenly the forest ends and there's a field of what looks like corn. And
Oh,
it's
I
just
love corn.
long, tall corn as far as you can see. And standing at the field is a scarecrow, which you wanted to see what he looks like.
Me too.
Yeah, I will look it up here. Standing at the field. Look at that.
But that's not a pumpkin head.
No, imagine he has a pumpkin head, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So, there's a scarecrow standing at the field, and it's completely silent.
He's spooky.
And on him, next to him, is a little sign that says, "I can guide you for a price."
I'm gonna give him some of my money.
Okay, how much do you give him? You have about 10 gold at the moment.
10.
You want to give him all 10 of your gold? Okay, so Oo gives the scarecrow all 10 of the gold. And the scarecrow suddenly looks down at the gold and pockets it. And then the scarecrow looks at you and it holds out its hand. What do you put in?
I don't know.
Do you give it anything?
Well, I give it
You have money too, if you want.
I give it
How much?
3.
3 gold? So you give it 3 gold. It looks at the 3 gold and it puts it in its pocket, and then its mouth opens up and its mouth doesn't move, but a voice comes out of it and it says, "Welcome to my field. We are going to go through the corn and you will follow me the entire way. Don't wander off, and no matter what you do, don't step on the pumpkin vines." Because there's a bunch of vines of pumpkin plants going through the field.
Why can't we? I want to jump over the vines.
You ask him that question?
Can I fly over the vines?
You can fly over the vines, yes.
But
But you have to walk, yes.
he has to
So when you
walk.
ask him why can't we, all he says is don't step on the vines. And then he turns and starts to go into the corn. Do you follow him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're following him through the corn.
beside the vines. Like away from
Well, the vines are going everywhere.
Oh.
So you're being careful not to step on them, right? Now, as you're walking through, you can't help but feel like something else is watching you. I want you to make me let's do a dexterity check. Okay, so roll your d20.
It's my D20.
Okay, go ahead, roll it.
Where's my D20?
Oh, a 17 plus your dexterity, which is 0, so you got a 17. You don't need to because you're flying, actually. But what did you get anyways? A 1. Oh, it's a good thing you're flying. so you are very careful, and you're walking through the vines, and Sparkle is flying around beside you, just having a good time, and the Scarecrow just silently keeps walking through the field. And you make it 1/3 of the way through the field. You need to make another dexterity check.
Good thing I'm really good at it.
All right, give it a roll. Oh, a 7. So while you're walking, suddenly you trip and you fall and you go and land on one of the pumpkin vines.
Oh
Immediately you hear this sound, and the Scarecrow turns around and says, "You stepped on a vine."
no. Sorry.
And his eyes get bigger, and he says, "Run." And then he turns and starts running in the same direction that you've been going. What do?
Run!
You run?
I fly very fast by
Yeah.
using my speed power.
Do you fly through the cornfield, or do you fly up above it and over?
Up above it.
Okay. So you start to follow Jack, right? And you follow him as fast as you
I
can.
follow him too.
And but you go up above and follow. While you go up above, you look around and you see on the other end of the cornfield all of these vines of a pumpkin coming together, and then a gigantic pumpkin head coming on top of it with big, jagged, like sawtooth-like teeth. And then it starts to crawl through the field, coming straight towards Oh and Jack. And it's coming fast.
Jack,
So,
everything needs to warn us.
what do you do?
I yell.
You yell? What do you yell?
I yell the thing I have to say.
What do you say?
I say, there's stuff crawling and they're following you. Run faster.
Run faster. Okay, so there's something you could do. You can either try and hide, or you can take the dash action.
What's a dash?
A dash action lets you move twice as far as you normally would on your turn. Or you can try and hide from this thing. What do you want to do?
But it's pretty. But can it find very well?
You don't know. It's a risk you'd have to take if you decide to hide. Or you can run.
I'm gonna run.
Okay, so you take the dash action? Yeah? Okay, so you dash. So Oh picks up the pace and she starts to run. And here's the field. And she's as fast as she can, and Jack is running as fast as he can. And as you're flying, you see this thing as it's just crawling. It's tearing up all of the corn as it's coming. It's making a big line in the corn. It's on the way coming. You are still about 100 feet from the end of the corn maze, and you suddenly hear this thing coming closer. It's getting close. What do? Do you hide or do you run?
Can I ask Jack to
What?
run a piggyback?
You ask Jack to hold on to. So how about this? Jack is not listening, but you could try and jump on him and hold on to him.
But that's rude.
It could be rude, but this is a life or death situation. So
Okay, I'll do it then.
you'll do it. Okay, make me a dexterity check because you're gonna actually do an acrobatics check. That would be better. So same thing. Roll a d20. And what's your acrobatics? What'd you roll? 13 plus 0. So 13, so you jump onto him, and Jack, feeling something touch him, starts to run even faster. And you're holding on to him for dear life, and you see this, and you bust right out of the corn maze. You come running out, while this thing suddenly comes right up to the edge of the corn and tears the corn over, but it can't leave the cornfield. And it just... something's preventing it, something stops it, and it thrashes and it yells and it spits fire out of its jack-o'-lantern head, and it just shrieks. But Jack says,
Light the candle! Let's light the candle!
Jack says, that was a close one. Oh, like the candle with the fire that it's spinning out of his head?
Yeah.
That's a good idea, because you are now in the Shadowfell. And as you're looking around, your own bodies start to become more see-through. And they begin to fade, and you begin to be cold. So,
Oh, no! Light the candle!
okay, you light the candle. As soon as you light the candle, you feel warmth come back into you, and your bodies become nice and solid again. And now you have the candle, and Jack says, "Where is your destination?"
We're looking for a saddle.
For your
We
shadows.
have no saddle, but everyone else does.
And are you looking for anyone in particular?
We're looking for our saddles.
Yeah. Who did the old hag tell you to look for? The wraith.
We're looking
The
for
wraith.
the wraith. But
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything?
He says,
about the wraith too?
the way to get to the wraith is to, and he points his wooden fingers, follow the dark mists as far as you can, but don't let your candle go out.
We'll keep lighting it.
Okay, so you begin to walk through into the dark mists. As you're walking, you see that it's like there's swirling mists everywhere. Every once in a while you pass by a gnarled looking tree. Every once in a while you hear cackling in the distance. And you think that sometimes you might even see a ghost fly by. But then everything starts to get darker and darker and darker.
Effie, light the candle again.
Oh no, the candle's still lit.
Oh, okay.
But you come to a tunnel. You come to a tunnel, and you can tell that the only way is to continue through this tunnel. And the wind is blowing fairly hard.
I don't want to stay too long. Because remember what she warned us?
Yes, she did. So how are you going to get through this tunnel where it's not like wind, it's like a breeze, but you don't want your candle to go out? What are you going to do?
Cover it.
Cover it with what?
With my hand.
So you could do that, but
Ow.
what will happen to the flame if you cover it completely?
I don't know.
It'll go out.
Fire.
Yeah. Fire. So here's the cool thing about fire. Too much wind will blow a fire out, right? But if there's no air, a fire also can't burn. It needs oxygen to burn. Oh, so what are you going to do?
Give it oxygen.
Well, it's got oxygen when it's in the air, but there is wind blowing. How are you going to keep the candle lit and go into the tunnel?
I will turn off the wind.
You'll turn off the wind. You can't turn off the wind. Think. So, here's your candle. Here's your candle. Air is blowing, right? And the air is going to blow out your candle. What are you going to do?
We're gonna can't cover it.
Yeah, you can't completely cover it. Like if you cover it, it goes out, right?
But we could cover it like that.
You could like block it or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you block it? Because your hand isn't going to be enough.
We block it with. Oh, we can't do it with a blanket.
With what?
A blanket.
Well, no, you don't have a blanket. You do have some other things though.
I spent all my money, but.
You have
What?
you have a club and a
Shield.
shield.
I can protect it with my shield.
Okay.
I'll
Do
put
you
my
want to
shield
try
like-
that?
I'm gonna hold my shield like this.
Okay.
Pointing to the candle.
Okay. And then do you both kind of walk together?
Yeah.
And you hold the shield in front. All right. You manage to keep the candle lit. And you go into the cave. And it is dark in this cave. The darkness is so dark, the candlelight almost doesn't even show anything. Like you can't even see the walls around you. It's just so dark. And as you get into the cave, you hear this raspy voice go, "Who dares enter my cave?"
Oh, we're looking for our shadow.
A shadow.
Everyone has a shadow in that sense.
There are many shadows here. And suddenly, two silvery eyes light up in the darkness. And out comes this dark,
Can I see what it looks like?
wispy form right there.
Oh.
He says, "Little ones with no shadows, why are you here in my realm?
Can you help us find our shadows?
Find your shadows?
I don't
Why,
know.
I know exactly where they are. I'm the one who took them.
Oh.
I am made of shadow, and shadow is mine. And the more shadow I have, the more power I have."
Please, can you give our shadow back? I will give you some my shadows if you want.
You'll get me some mouse shadows. Oh, I could take those whenever I want. But you say you'll give me something?
Yeah.
I want more than a mouse shadow.
I'll give her a cat shadow and
A
a
cat
puppy shadow.
No. If I'm going to give up shadows, I need something more precious.
What do you think if I have no more money, but I do? I could give up my shield.
A shield? I have no use for a shield. You see this form. I am not part of the physical world. I need something more important. What is something precious to you?
I really like my club.
Another physical thing. And
Oh.
as you're talking, he almost is playing with you as you can see your own shadows dancing and playing in the candlelight suddenly.
Our shadows are playing in the candlelight?
Yes, as it flickers, you see them. Even in the darkness, somehow he's created a way that you can see them move around in it. After all, it is his realm of shadow, right? So, what could you give him? Let's think outside the box here.
I was worried.
He doesn't want anything that's physical.
I really was not physical in no word.
There could be dreams, hopes, memories.
Not memory.
He says, I would happily give up your shadows for a memory.
I would love to give you a nightmare.
Nightmare? You
No,
want to
it's
give him one of your nightmares?
Yeah,
Ah, so you,
because they're scary.
okay.
I want to give him my scariest nightmare where the toy's alive.
You want to give him your nightmares. Okay. I want you two to roll a persuasion check. And I think this one is important. This one we're going to use the dice tower. So hold on, we'll do it one at a time. We're going to use the special dice tower. So you need your D20. We'll let we'll let Oo go first. You roll. A natural 20. Are you kidding me? Okay, with your persuasion, that's a 21. Okay, you now roll your d20. Nope, that's a d12. Close. They look similar. And you roll. And you got an 8 plus your persuasion, which is a 1. All right, so what happens is he looks into your memories and he sees your nightmare and he says, "What a beautiful nightmare. I would happily take this in exchange for your shadow."
Okay, please take it. I really
And
need it.
suddenly he takes that memory from you as he puts his hand over your eyes, and you feel as if he reaches into your head and pulls out this wispy black thing, and it becomes part of him. And you can't remember your nightmare anymore.
Yay!
Gone.
Yay!
But then he looks at you and he says, "Your nightmare does not suffice. It is not scary enough. What else could you give me?"
Orcus is scary, but we don't have Orcus yet. What?
You don't want to find him.
No.
Orcus is real scary.
Orcus has wings?
Yep. What do you think you could give him?
I would give him another nightmare.
Another nightmare? He doesn't want any of your nightmares.
Hmm.
So you could choose. You have a choice to make. You could give him a memory, or you could just not have a shadow anymore.
But some memories are scary.
That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna give him the scary memory.
Okay. What's a scary memory you'll give him?
Well, in the game, I was playing on the swing, and there was so many fog, and I hear monsters coming to me.
Oh, okay. So you think there were monsters that there was a time when you were a kid and you were out and there were monsters around and you were scared?
Well, I'm gonna give
Let's
him
roll another persuasion for that.
I'm gonna give him a memory too.
You don't need to. You already did. You gave him yours. Okay, roll it in.
him a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a memory of a nightmare.
This mushroom's mine because I'm at this.
Ah, a 15 plus 1, so 16. That would be enough. Okay, so you tell him another memory. This is not a nightmare. This is a real memory from your childhood as a little fairy.
I want to give him another
And-
thing.
Why?
Because I have so many scary memories.
I mean, he'll take your memories for free, but he's not giving you anything extra.
It's okay.
Yeah, so he's going to take all your nightmares?
Yeah.
Okay, so you tell him that, but first, he reaches in and he says, "This one is almost more precious." And he reaches into your head and he pulls out a dark memory and it becomes part of him. Because the reason it's more precious is because that memory was real. And now it's mine.
Yep.
And you just don't care. You don't want to remember it.
When I was one of my nightmares when I was a kid, it is real. When I was little, I was about to slide down the playground slide, but before I slid down, when I was very tiny, I heard the sound.
Ooh. Okay, so you give him all your scary nightmares, which he happily accepts. Now you have no memory of any nightmares, and you have your memory of nightmares still, but you've lost one of your real memories. But it's one you don't care about.
I lost
But
a
he
real
likes it.
memory
So
too.
he gives you your shadow back, and he says, "Make sure that candle doesn't go out, little ones. You still need to leave the Shadowfell." And suddenly all of the darkness in the room starts to move around and come into a dark, dark, dark ball, which suddenly ascends up through the cave. And now your candle is just like a normal candle, and it's showing the cave around you. All of that extra darkness is gone. Now what are you going to do? You're still in the Shadowfell.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm keeping doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Okay. So where do you go now?
Back home. Back home.
So on your way back, you find Jack's field, and he's standing there waiting with a little sign that says, "Pay me,
Okay.
and I will guide you across the field."
I will pay him.
What do you pay him?
I pay him money.
Okay, how much?
Free again.
You give him 3 gold, which he grabs, and he looks at, and he puts in his pocket, and then he turns and looks at you.
What?
He's waiting for payment.
Oh, I can give him. Oh, but I didn't bring a plant leaf.
That's right.
I have no more money.
She gave him all his money the first time.
Jack, I have no more money and I can't think of something. I don't know.
He just extends his hand further.
I just don't know.
What do you think you could give him? What do you think you could give him?
I can't give him corn.
Nope, he's got plenty of corn.
Yeah.
What are you gonna give him?
A treat.
So you tell O to give him a treat? What do you think?
I have no treats.
Well, I'm gonna say you probably packed a lunch before you took your trip.
Okay. Yeah,
What do you give him?
the treat.
So some treats from your lunch. What is it? Is it a cupcake? Yeah. Okay. He takes the cupcake and he looks at it, and he puts it inside his pumpkin head,
Yummy.
and then he opens up his mouth, and you can see the cupcake's like still sitting in the head, like it's completely fine. It hasn't been chewed. It's just sitting inside his pumpkin head, and a voice comes out and says, "I will guide you across the field. Follow me, but don't step on the pumpkin vines." And he turns and walks into the field.
And we follow him.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna trip this time, am I?
I don't know. We'll have to see what the dice say, huh? All right. Give me a dexterity check.
If I get to jump onto him, he's gonna run fast.
Here, this one's important. Give me a dexterity check. Are you flying again? No, you're walking? Uh-oh, you better do a dexterity check too then. What did you roll? Hold on.
Is
A
this
15?
dexterity or this
That one. So you're okay. You didn't hit anything. And a 14 plus 1 is a 15. Okay, so you make it 1/3 of the way through the field. No problems. But are you still going to keep walking? You both need to roll again then. Okay, go ahead. You roll first this time. Let's see what it is.
How come Evie has that side?
Okay, so that's a 12.
How come Evie gets this side?
That's just the side she's using. You can use whatever side you want.
I want the biggest side. It's the best.
Okay.
I want this side. I want this side because
Okay,
it's the
that's a
side
14.
that I'm on, and this side that the mushroom.
All right.
is on.
One more roll each, because you've made it 2/3. Go ahead, roll.
Why does Audrey always
Oh, no!
get this? I think I'm gonna jump on Jack.
So, what happens is Oh steps on another pumpkin vine!
Uh-oh. I'm gonna
And you
fly
hear,
now. I want to fly again.
okay, so you fly and you take off.
I'm gonna jump onto Jack.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Oh no. You jump onto him. It's just a story, honey. It's just a story. This is a chance for you to think about how you can make this work, how you can get out of it. Yeah? This is a chance for you.
I have a club.
You
I can
do?
smash it.
You do have a club. All right.
But it could breathe fire at me.
So you rolled a 3 and you missed Jack, who has begun to run. And you hear as this thing comes running through the field. And it comes running. Now you fly away.
Jack,
So you're
I'm
all.
gonna ask Jack something.
He's run off. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna yell to Jack.
You can yell.
I'm yelling, Jack. I'm really close. The pumpkin's catching up to me.
He's taken off. He doesn't respond.
But I could. But what about?
So you have a choice. You could hide, you can fight, or you can run. Sparkle's run off too. You're all alone, and this thing is coming. What will you do?
I'm still with Jack.
Because it's coming no matter what you do, right? In
I
life.
climb because I don't think it has arms.
Well, there's nothing to climb. You're in corn.
I'm with I can climb corn.
The corn would
I'm
break.
with Jack. I'm with Jack.
Yeah, you're flying with Jack. What are you going to do? Because in life, when bad things happen, we can't help that they're happening, right? So, what are you going to do to get out of the bad thing? What are you going to do to get out of the bad thing? Shh, hold on. Let's listen. What are you going to do? Hey, honey. Honey. It's just a game. And this is your chance. This is your chance to prove that you know how to get out of it.
Dad, I got something that might make her happy.
What do you think?
I'm just gonna fly back and pick her up, then go with Jack. Then.
So you could fly back, but you're too small to pick her up. Yeah. But how are you going to help her?
By grabbing her with both hands.
By what?
With both hands and my 2 feet.
But that's still your wings are too small to fly both of you.
Oh.
Yeah, and this thing is coming. So what are you going to do? Hmm? Are you going to run? Are you going to fight? Or are you going to hide? Or you have another idea? What do you think? Because you're in the situation. And you have to do something, or else it's just going to find you, right? If you do nothing, then only the bad thing will happen, right? So, what are you going to do?
Can I run faster?
You could run.
Faster?
You could do a dash action.
Yeah.
Okay. And you dash. All right. You dash, and you're in the last leg of the field. So you run out of the field, and this thing stops at the end of the field, and it stares at you, and it breathes fire out of its jack-o'-lantern, and it looks angrily, but it can't get you. To which Jack says, "Where is your destination? Where are you going?"
The pumpkin head has to stay in the field. That's where it's
Yep.
safe.
Yep. So that's what he
Looks like
says.
something blocking it.
Yeah. So let's sit
Can
down,
I
please.
see
Can you sit down?
Maybe there's
It's not in this book.
maybe there's a big wall that we can't see, but it doesn't let the pumpkin head get through.
Yeah, it can. So what do you tell Jack? He asks you, "Where's your destination?"
We're looking for us. That we found our status, but we're going home.
And he says, "Through the forest, straight that way, you'll
Okay.
find your home."
Okay.
Okay?
Jack's very nice.
Well, yeah, he'll guide you. He'll help you. So you walk through the forest, and you make it home that night, and the whole way, your shadows follow you.
I'm gonna go to bed.
And then you go to
It's
bed.
almost nighttime.
Awesome.
I'm gonna water my plants. But I will give Jack.
Okay, and
I
you
will
water the
give
plants
Jack-
that you've been planting?
I will give Jack one big cupcake I buy.
So he grabs the cupcake, and he opens his mouth, and you see the other cupcake is still in there, and he puts it in next to it, and then closes his mouth again.
And I want to give him. Why can't you give him more? Dad.
More,
Why
okay,
can't
he'll
you
take
give-
the lunch, and then you go home,
Is it?
and you
This
go to
one's
bed.
a cracker.
Ah, very cool.
Dad, why can't you chew?
He just, he's a pumpkin. He just doesn't. So, you go home, you go to bed, and your shadows are with you the whole time. And we're done. We'll end there.
Okay.
Now, I want to talk to both of you about something. So today, some really bad stuff happened in the game,
I was
right?
really scared.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing. If something bad happens in our life, let's not. If something bad happens in our life, imagine, because this was a game, we were able to pause it and talk about it, right? Now imagine if that had been real and you stepped on a vine and a monster was coming at you and you decided to just throw a fit and cry, what would happen? What would happen? Yeah, the thing would have gotten you. You probably would have died, right? You would not, the bad thing would have happened, and you would have done nothing. And
But a
that's-
cat too is a pet king.
so here's the thing. In real life, if a bad thing happens, can we stop the fact that it happened? Or is it just happening? It's just happening. The only thing we can change is our choice on what we're going to do about it.
Not
If we do nothing, then the bad thing just happens to us.
good thing I did a dash.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes. And good thing this is just a game where you could take a moment to choose, right? But in real life, if we decide that we're just going to get angry, or we're just going to get mad, or we're going to cry, or do nothing, or throw a fit, then the bad thing just happens, and we did nothing to stop it.
What does the
Right.
pumpkin head look like?
Listen, if we do nothing, then the bad thing happened, we did nothing to stop it, right? But if we do something, then we have a choice about what happens,
Okay.
right?
Dad, what does the pumpkin head look like?
A big giant pumpkin head with big, like, pumpkin teeth
I
and
want to
lots
see,
of
I want to
vines.
see, I want to see.
I don't have a picture of it. It's something I made up.
Well
so-
done.
Here's a question. Well, thank you. Here's a question. If something bad happens in our life, do we cry about it or throw a fit, or do we take action and make something happen? Yeah, we take action and we make something happen, something good. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You let
Give me 5.
us, you let us choose what we want to do, but still are the one who does the talking.
All right, let's run upstairs.